even get to cross.
As you can see here, I have the original Mini Kinta, and I was like wondering, can you control this from a Mini Kinta IRC? If you look at this one here, it actually has a remote control sensor in the front. Now, I didn't buy the remote yet, because the box here says control easily with the optional IRC 6 remote, so it's optional remote. So I was wondering, can you run the original Mini Kinta as a slave off the IRC and control it using the infrared control? Which, if it's slavable, it should work no problem. As long as I can control it from the back controls, it'll work. If that's the case, then I'm going to go ahead and order the remote for it. But if not, well, let's look real quick and try to look at the differences. Well, here's the original Mini Kinta. And if you look up here, we have a bigger headed screws in it. Now we come over here to the IRC. You can look right here, we have an infrared remote control sensor, and we have smaller screws. Let's put them bottom together against each other so you can see the difference in the size of the screws. So the original had a lot larger screws than the newer version that has the remote sensor. Now let's take a look at the back of each unit. Okay, here's the original Mini Kinta. Power in, the fuse holder, to plug another unit into it. And we have DMX out, DMX in, and the buttons here are fairly flush. For menu, up, down, enter, to do sound activated, slave, DMX, auto, and mic sensitivity. And the microphone's right up here. Now let's go look at the new version. The new version, we have the microphone sensitivity, and if you look at the remote, the microphone is right down below it. And these buttons are not flush like the other one has it. Let's go look at the buttons on this one. If you look, they're fairly flush. Compared to the new one, they stick way out. We still have the slave, sound, DMX, and auto setups. Now it says Chauvet DJ in the back of it, and the other one does not say Chauvet DJ on the back of it. They both have the safety eye bolt on them. The new version actually says it's a safety eye bolt. The original does not. There's a little ground symbol here actually made into the metal on this one, and over here it's painted on the new version. And if you look, we have a little QC Pass sticker on this one, and the other one doesn't have one of those, but it may have, because I bought this light here used as a non-working unit and I repaired it. And after buying this one, I'm like, I found this one over here and it didn't work as well, and I pretty much paid the same amount of money for both of them. I paid $30 a piece for them each shipped, because neither one would work. This one wouldn't power up, this one wouldn't power up. This one I had to solder stuff on the power board. There was like a transistor that was coming loose. This one, there was just a wire coming off the one wire plug was partly pulled out of it, that a little red wire going from the power board to the circuit board. All I had to do was push it back in the rest of the way, and it powered right up. I think this was a brand new unit, because it doesn't have any scratches on it, and it came in the original box with all the original paperwork. And it looks like a brand new unit. I don't see any really dust on it. It came with the power cord, and it was an easy fix. Now let's take a look at the bottom. The new one on the bottom says Mini Kinta IRC and Chauvet DJ. The original has the sticker on it that tells you all about it with the serial number sticker. The other one has it on the back of it for the serial number sticker. And if you look, there is no product information on this one. like the other one has. This one here tells you the model and everything else on it, and the newer version doesn't tell you any of that stuff. It's probably all in the owner's manual. They both have the screws up here. This one's here a little bit larger, and this one's here a little smaller. Now if you look, we have two screws going up into the bottom of this one, and on this one there's no screws going up into the bottom. We still have the same mounting bracket. The older version had a little bit more pointy on the pluses for the tighten down pieces, but the new version has more rounded edges and it's a little bit more softer. If you look, we have a side mounting hole in this one, and the other one already has something stuck on for a speaker pole mount. I also have a light stand, but I just bought that because I bought the second light. But for a while I just had mounted up to the underneath my speaker and used it because my speaker stand's up to 9 foot tall. See, we have larger screws here and this one here for the fan. And over here we have smaller screws. The other one has larger screws on the top and not as many of them. If you look, we have like 2 in the front and 2 on the side and then 2 in the back. The new version has 2 in the, I guess it's the same amount of screws, but they're a lot smaller screws than the new version. Now the older version has more fan blades. At least it looks like it. Let me count them. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think 10. Let me start for the one behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it has 9 blades. And the new version has 1. Let's start with right here at the intersection. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 9 blade fan compared to a 7 blade fan. And it says do not block on the new one. The old one doesn't tell you do not block, but I imagine it's the same type of rules for that as well. We have a grounding screw on the top, and a grounding screw on the top of this one as well. The new grounding screw is smaller than the other one as well, and the older one. Now let's listen to see what the fan speed differences are. Let me plug in my cord. I guess I can grab any power cord, doesn't matter for either or. Let's go. Let me turn off my air conditioning unit so we can hear directly from this one. Sorry if the video is jumpy. I'm trying to hold it with a cell phone and do everything at the same time. Not sure if you can hear the fan blowing. It's the sound output of this one. See, there's the old one working away. With the auto, then we got the microphone. If I tap it, then it goes to sound mode, which makes it go a lot quicker. Now let's hear the sound of the fan on the new version. Wish I had a tripod for this. But the fan's a lot noisier on the new version, with only the 7 fan blades instead of the 9. It's a lot noisier. As you can see, it auto kicked in. I'm going to lay down, I'm going to pause this real quick, and when I come back, I'm going to hook them up as master-slave. I'm going to use the new version as the master, the older version as the slave. Okay, so hooked them both up. I don't actually have the one set up as slave yet, but they're both on auto, and if you notice, they're doing two totally different things. But here I'm going to go to the older version. I'm going to go menu, that says auto, LED, display, user, slave, and now I just hit slave and hit enter, and if you look, you can actually slave off the original Mini Kinta off the Mini Kinta IRC. And they basically do the same thing. Now I noticed whenever I was doing the sound activated, it didn't seem like they were exactly doing the same thing all the time, but they were very close to it of doing the same thing. Now I'm going to go ahead and start tapping the microphone on this one. But if you look, now they're starting to speed up. They're both doing the same thing because it thinks it's reading a sound. Now I'll stop, and if you look, you see they're both flashing and doing the same thing. So you can actually, off the new version with the infrared control, you can set up the Mini Kinta as a slave, and it'll work off of the newer version, Mini Kinta IRC. So if let's say you have, let's say, one of these already at home that works, and you want to control it with a remote control and you're not able to, you can just buy the IRC and hook this one here up as a slave using your DMX cables, and you can control it as a slave, which is nice that you can do that. So basically you can use your older version that you weren't able to use with the remote control and use it with the remote control as long as you have a newer version to use with it, which is very nice. I think I repeated myself on that. Sorry, guys. Oh, I just noticed that too. If you look, there's actually more vents in the older version, and the newer version has less vents. Do you see that? Older version vent, newer version vent. So they don't exactly look the same, but they look close enough if you had them up on a stand, and if they're both doing the same exact thing. If you're at a gig, people probably wouldn't even notice that they're not exactly the same light. They're both the same brand. You can piggyback one off the other and have them do the same thing, which is nice. Now, my next video I'm going to make, I'm going to open them both up so you can see a comparison of how the two are made. Like how the circuit boards have changed and things like that. Because the newer version, the older version has removable chips on the circuit board. The newer version, nothing is removable off the board. I have a third one of these as well, so I think I'm going to use speaker stand, have the other two be on the rack, and run a cord between all three of them. Like hook the two up together on the speaker stand, and then run the long. I have a long, like 20-foot cable to hook up another one off onto a speaker stand off to the side. That way I can get more light around the dance floor. Extend the light out further than I have before in the past. Well, I'd like to thank you for coming to my channel. Remember to click like and subscribe.